The man crawled under the woman's skirt. Just then the woman's mother-in-law suddenly came in. Fortunately, the mother-in-law didn't notice anything unusual about the woman. Instead, she kindly helped massage her daughter-in-law's back. The woman was sweating profusely. At that moment, neither of them knew they would pay with their lives for their actions. The woman's name was Jenny, a very unfortunate girl. During childhood, her mother passed away due to illness. Her father, busy making a living, could only send her to live with her aunt. From that day forward, Jenny lived with her sickly cousin, and taking care of him became her responsibility. This caused her childhood to lose its color. Every day she was forced to sleep in the same bed as her cousin. 10 years passed. Jenny had become a mature, beautiful woman. As an adult, like most young women, she was full of longing for the outside world and love. She hoped to meet the love of her dreams. Even men working in the fields would make her body unconsciously sway along. One day her aunt announced important news. To improve her cousin Carl's health, she decided to use the compensation money left by Jenny's father to move the whole family to Paris and have Jenny marry her cousin. This sudden change caught Jenny off guard. Under her aunt's forceful intervention, she dared not show any resistance. Trapped in this predicament, she could only marry her cousin, whom she didn't love at all. Not long after, the family arrived in Paris. Her cousin Carl found a good job through connections, while Jenny felt lonely and isolated in her married life. No matter what she tried with Carl, she couldn't spark her cousin's interest in her. The once cheerful girl no longer smiled. Until one day, Carl brought home his friend Mike, which changed Jenny's dream life. His handsome appearance and humorous, witty conversation immediately drew her attention. Soon their joyful gathering was coming to an end. When her aunt and Carl left, Mike immediately revealed his ulterior motives. Although Jenny knew it was risky, she still followed his request and unbuttoned her clothes. The long-term emptiness and loneliness in her heart was instantly released. From that day on, Jenny found life full of joy. Their affair spiraled out of control. In the days that followed, they secretly met every day before Carl returned home. When she was with Mike, Jenny was always full of passion and energy, completely opposite to the gloomy little girl she had been. But when Mike wasn't around, she would always sit alone in a daze, because she feared losing him and the hard-won love. And Carl noticed her downcast demeanor. The next day, Carl returned home with a major decision. He thought Jenny didn't like the city of Paris, so he wanted to take his wife and mother back to live in the countryside. Perhaps only this would make Jenny happy. Little did he know Jenny's heart was in extreme panic. Although she strongly objected, she saw Carl's uncomprehending expression. With no other options, she waited until he fell asleep, and at the risk of being discovered, secretly found Mike, hoping he could lend her a hand. Sure enough, he came up with an idea for her to kill Carl by creating an accident. Jenny became conflicted. If the plan succeeded, she would be with Mike without any obstacles, but it went against human morality, which made it difficult for her to accept. Returning home late at night, Jenny couldn't fall asleep. The next day, Mike invited Carl and his wife for an outing in the forest. Then the three came to a riverside and rented a small boat. When the unsuspecting Carl stepped onto the small boat, Jenny stood hesitating on the shore, feeling incredibly torn in pain. In the end, she was persuaded by Mike, and the three of them set off on this point of no return.